Hello and welcome to today's League of Legends Sneak Peek Part 2 where we cover the LEC and LCS. This video will be filmed earlier in the day. As you can see, it's a little bit bright. Well, you can't see actually, but it is brighter behind me, and it will be darker for the second half of this video. If this is being uploaded Saturday morning, good morning. And if it's being uploaded, well, Saturday early morning for me, or late Friday night. Yeah, this came out late. Just so you know, there is a chance that Saturday for Sunday, so the 18th for the 19th video might be delayed, or 19th for the 20th, depending on, I have something I have to do this weekend for a few hours. That might back me up a bit, but we will get all the roundups done. We might just miss a sneak peek along the way, but nevertheless, let's get into this, the LEC part, before I dive into what the LCS is doing right now. So, Astralis versus BDS is the first game. Two bottom-feeding teams, both struggling in game one. Astralis having trouble against G2, but they were there for a while in the early game. BDS had a lead against SK and blew it. So as far as I'm concerned, BDS should get Nuclear Int fed. Nuclear Int was definitely the carry for them. X-Matty had a couple kills, but Nuclear Int Sakali was impactful in team fights. But Astralis, I think, should go bot lane and get Kabe ahead. It's going to be Kabe versus Nuclear Int, as far as I'm concerned for this one. Who's going to win? Your bet's as good as mine. SK and Mad Lions. SK eke out a win against BDS when they probably shouldn't have, stacking Drakes and then just playing for a late game. Mad Lions played a very, very clean, easy game against Vitality that I'd argue was nearly perfect in the way that they approached team fights. Armit was great. I'd like Niski not to play Silas, but that's one of his favorite champions, so be it. But as far as tank top, they had an all-around good team comp. So I think they should just play. Just play what you played today again tomorrow. Similar composition. Just keep playing that way and you'll get wins. SK have to focus on team fights. Clearly they were better in team fights. When everything was spread out in the early game, they struggled. And they have to respect the fact that, Elyoya might be all over the place if that ends up being the case. Game 3, Misfits and Vitality, both teams losing. Misfits to excel in a big way, 15-0. Vethio is my tip. It's the same tip I gave for yesterday that they didn't follow through on, or earlier today, depending on when I upload this. They gave him Oriana as a 5th pick and let Ari slip through the first 3 picks. And Swain, I don't know if Swain was banned or not, but this is ridiculous. Get him a pick that he can carry on. And Oriana is not the play. It is not. Not at this point right now, at least. Vitality, Perks. I think it all comes down to this mid matchup between Vethio and Perks. Alfari played Sejuani. He was impactful at times, but he almost got solo killed by Armit's Ornn. He is the reason that Mad Lions were able to set up the last team fight, trading ultimates with Niski when Niski stole Alfari's ultimate, which gave him the ability to TP to Baron, and Alfari couldn't respond because he didn't have TP or ultimate. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's all up to Perks. I don't think the bot lane did much today to write home about either Karzi and Lebrav. Haru was okay. Did some things in the early game, but he did get caught out a few times on the Xin. So I think it's Vethio versus Perks. That mid matchup's going to decide that one. XL and Fnatic. XL need to punish mid lane. Humanoid continues to get caught in mid, and that's one way Rogue were able to create in the early to mid game, and I think XL should take notes. As far as Fnatic's concerned, they dominated the bot lane in a big way throughout the game, and I think that that's what they need to continue to do. Go after Mickey X and Patrick, the 2 players that really helped Excel get better in the game today against Misfits. They need to do that. Dominate bot lane, go bot lane. In the final game between G2 and Rogue, I think they both need to be aggressive. I wrote G2 needs to be active and Rogue needs aggression. I think G2 weren't active enough and weren't able to take advantage of Astralis in this game to the point where they could succeed to the highest level. Against a team like Astralis, you expect more in the early game. They got out to a decent gold lead, but they weren't able to create any mismatches in lane, and I'm not buying the whole, you can't dive turrets and things like that nonsense, because in the LPL and LCK, teams are doing it. Some are actually doing it to a lot of success. As far as Rogue's concerned, aggression. I think Rogue needs to be more aggressive. Again, against a team like G2, I feel like they can't wait and scale. I think G2 is the better team, at least off of today. Obviously 1-0 and 0-1, but um, Rogue, I don't know if this meta is going to fit them all that much. I really don't. I don't know. I don't. Comp just is just like the bot lane was non-existent as far as I'm concerned in this one. Larson showed up from time to time. Like Larson was the only one that kind of was playing, and control mages are his thing, but I don't think that in this game that's going to be possible against Caps. They have to go through bot, and I don't see it happening. So comment down below with who you think is going to win in the LEC games, and now on to the LCS. Okay, now for the LCS part of the sneak peek, we have C9 and Golden Guardians starting us off, both 0-1. I think C9's trick will be to hit Golden Guardians early. FlyQuest just slow played it, and Golden Guardians kind of just let it happen. Honestly, they just let Jose take Drake after Drake and do whatever he wanted, and although it wasn't a lot of kills or anything, FlyQuest had all the objectives and just won the game through objectives. And I feel like if C9 presses the issue, they're the better team. They should just outright win. As far as Golden Guardians are concerned, why is Pride Stalker on Xin Zhao? I don't think that that's a good idea. I think he's maybe one of your best players on your team. You should be giving him something to actually work with. The Xin Zhao is not the play. Dignitas and TL. Dig, I feel like have to get through laning phase. We just went over how they played CLG and lost at 4 minutes. Get through laning phase first and foremost. Against TL, who just perfect gamed Immortals. I have no tips for TL. I mean, you can't do any better than a perfect game. And they were creative in their draft, too, with Bwipo picking Olaf. So just kind of see what TL does now against Dignitas, who's also a team at the bottom of the standings. I guess I would focus on maybe Blue and Bjergsen, seeing if River can maybe affect that mid lane matchup. I like River a lot. So we'll see if he can make something happen. EG versus 100 Thieves. I think this is Inspired versus Closer. Which jungler can get more done? I felt like Inspired really didn't do all that much against C9. And in the case of Closer, I mean, Closer kind of did some things, but at the same time, both these guys kind of just were afterthoughts on their teams today. So it's the jungler. Which jungler can affect that mid matchup? The top matchup, I think, like Impact and Someday are pretty similar in how they impact the game. No pun intended there. And I mean, the bot lanes are kind of just like Danny should be able to carry, but at the same time, I mean, FBI and Huhi, they might just, they play some really good synergy bot lanes. So it's going to be a good game. That's probably the best game for tomorrow out of the LCS will be EG 100 Thieves. TSM and CLG. I think TSM need to respect CLG. CLG just won. They won convincingly. But TSM did get out to an early lead against 100 Thieves and blew it. Spica played great in the early game. Just an absolute great game. Right? That's what happened? Yeah, I had to check my other board. That's what happened. So as far as I'm concerned, I think TSM just need to do that same thing. Kind of push the issue, go to mid, make things happen, and they should be able to win. CLG, on the other hand, fun compositions. They picked Seraphine bot. They were the ones willing to do it. I love it. They picked Yone top. Dokla looked okay on it. This is the sort of stuff you need to see out of a bottom tier team. Think of FlyQuest and Spring with their weird top picks that were meta at the time. That got them wins and got them in the playoffs. And frankly, in the LCS, I mean, the top 8 are making it, which is an absolute joke anyways. But to be a top 5 team, all you have to do is do that, and you can get there. The final matchup, Immortals and FlyQuest. I mean, Immortals, I feel like Ignar needs to help Kenvi. Kenvi really struggled against TL when they got perfect gamed. He was obviously not the worst part of it. I thought Lost did awful. So Ignar is in a tough place where he has to help Kenvi, but also keep Lost from literally inting the game. I thought Lost was an improvement over Arrow or Wild Turtle, but not based off of yesterday. In FlyQuest, I think they have to let Jose Dioto keep doing his thing. He picked the Udyr. We haven't seen the Udyr yet out of anybody. he picks the Udyr and he does very well on it, getting Drakes, making things happen. And he played PvE pretty much and won the game. So he is FlyQuest's best player. He got, things done for them, got them in a good position, and then the team fought their way through it. So we'll see how they go going forward. That's it for the sneak peek. Put your predictions down below. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more League of Legends content. And yeah, thanks.